Okay. So the Man of Tomorrow, Aaron Pierre, shares a very interesting response to the sequel news, as Mark Cassidy reporting, as mentioned again, James Gunn, Man of Tomorrow, July 9th, la-di-la-di-la, Corn, Sweat, and Holt, etc., etc. There's already speculation that Brainiac, blah, blah, blah. Well, Gunn had previously said that the movie would feature a group of characters we've already met, and this might just include a certain ring-slinging hero who is set to make his DCU debut on the small screen next year. Hawkgirl actress Isabella Merced all but confirmed her return by sharing the news to Instagram with the "See you soon," to which the Lantern star Aaron Pierre, that's Mufasa, replied, "Yes, indeed." You may also notice that the Flash TV series star Grant Gustin weighed in. Hardly confirmation that Jon Stewart will appear, but Pierre's comment did seem more like a direct response to Merced's post than the news itself. Update, it looks like Pierre actually let this comment on Gunn's original post, not Merced's. Okay, so, hey, look, man, I've said this multiple times that I am in, there we go, that I am the most excited of all the projects for Lanterns. And I think that Aaron Pierre was a fantastic choice for Jon Stewart. I think he looks exactly like the Justice League Unlimited version of Jon Stewart. What is happening? Can you hear that right now, or is that just me? Okay, sorry.
I got nothing.
Comic book movie loves to play these ads out of nowhere, and all of a sudden I just hear, "Are you tired of being tired?" And I'm like, bro, first of all, get out of my head. Second of all, why is it so loud?
Damn, that algorithm is really feeding to you specifically.
It, like, disturbingly so. I feel violated, bro. They literally were like, now I'm starting to worry. Do you watch Black Mirror?
Oh, yeah.
The season premiere, or the first episode of this season, with Tracy Ellis Ross as the saleswoman and with the chip in her brain.
Oh yeah, and Rashida Jones getting all those great commercials. Just
I literally thought that's what was happening right now. I was like, because it didn't even show the video; it just added in a little. Anyways, so that being said, the one thing that I've always found interesting, just because we're talking lanterns for a minute, obviously Aaron Pierre is going to, it sounds like, be the main lantern. Does that mean, do you think then, it sounds like Guy will possibly also be involved, but do you think that mean that we're going to be, maybe we're not seeing Hal going forward after the first season of Lanterns? What do you think?
What's crazy is that it's fall already. It's coming. And I got 2 kids. The back to school rush, it's already here. We're getting the early morning drop-offs, the after school activities, the soccer games, and the last minute supply runs. Don't forget about the extra trips for groceries, gas. The days get busier, and it all adds up. It adds up fast. Get that free Upside app. There's an easy way to earn real cash back every time you fill up your tank, grab a bite to eat, stop on essentials. Whether you're driving across town for the soccer games or picking up snacks for the school lunchbox, Upside helps you keep more in your pocket. In fact, Top Upside has given back $1 billion to its users. $1 billion. The free Upside app, it gets you cash back on daily essentials, whether it's gas, groceries, and dining. And yes, if you're asking, it's real cash back. There's no confusing rewards, points, credits, just money. And you can transfer it straight to your bank account. Next, claim an offer for what you're buying on Upside. Then pay, as usual, with a credit or debit card. Follow the steps in the app, get paid. So I'm using this. I heard about it, especially everything I mentioned with the soccer games, the back to school rush, all that, that's me. And since I learned about this thing, it has been so beneficial. It fits in so easy to my wife's schedule, to my schedule. Upside has given back $1 billion to its users. Find out how much you can earn. You got to download the free Upside app. You got to use that promo code Christian. You get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas. An extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas. Using that promo code Christian. I love hearing about stuff like this. I'm so happy that I have discovered Upside, and you will be too.
I do think we're going to put that focus on Jon Stewart. And obviously, it's a Lantern core. We have multiple Lanterns existing all at once. I feel like we're going to have some people pop in and out, though, And Nathan Fillion stuff that he's done has been so good and so funny, and I love him. But I feel like he doesn't make much sense for the world of the Lanterns show that we're getting, that kind of idea of the true detective kind of thing. He can pop up, be a bit of a jerk, get out, but he doesn't quite fit that tone. Whereas, Kyle Chandler coming in here and being an older Lantern, showing the ropes, all that kind of stuff, I feel like that's going to be our mentor, who will probably lose, which will be very heartbreaking because I love Kyle Chandler so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that focus on Jon Stewart is where it's going to be. And then we also open up the world to, hey, we can then bring in Kilowog or all these other Lanterns or all these other people, or maybe our other guys go off planet and they go hang out in other universes. But I feel like Jon Stewart's our guy.
No, I agree. I think that Jon will be the focus, similar again to the, because based off of kind of how you've set a lot of stuff up, you've made it pretty clear that you are doing your own version I know I keep bringing it up, of Justice League Unlimited brought to real life. The casting choices and like the look of people, the tone of things and whatnot, you're really kind of lending yourself to that. So I agree with that 1,000%. I'm curious if it's going to be a situation where, like you said, is Hal just assigned somewhere on the other side of the universe, and that, maybe he was here to kind of train up Jon and then he's gone. Or does he go full like Parallax and now we're dealing with him going evil? Or is he just dead? Like we really don't know one way or the other. But I do think it would be interesting. I think the best choice for me is you kill Hal. And I know that sounds crazy, but I think you do that because then your first major event for the DC universe might be the Blackest Night. And so then you have a situation where you ended up, the major event, I'm not even talking like an Avengers movie, but I'm talking like Infinity War Endgame, is having to deal with the people that maybe have been lost along the way here, that are being revived by these Black Lantern rings and whatnot. I think that maybe that's where this is ultimately going to go in the long run. No. And let me clarify. Someone's like, it's way too early. I'm not saying right now. I'm saying when you get to your Infinity War Endgame part of this, way down the line. So, because remember, that was what, 10 years, something like that, before we got to that. That's what I'm saying as far as the end of whatever this initial, because that was called what, the Infinity Saga, for the first 3 phases of MCU. That's maybe what we get to the end of this. I don't know what you call it directly, but that is what the ending looks like. I think that would be a good setup, especially if he set him up now and he taught him and then he died in the process, and maybe Jon is beating himself up about it, but he's learning to be his own guy, and then he's got to re-deal with this down the line. I think that would be pretty good.
Yeah, I love that. Because the idea of, I saw some people in the chat too went, oh, go full Parallax. And I'd love that for Chandler, but I don't know if I love that for the overall DC universe at this point. And I think playing around with the idea of those Black Lantern rings too brings up such a great commentary on comics themselves and comic book movies, of the idea of no one's perma-dead, but there actually being consequences. There actually being a right and wrong to reviving. And I think that's something really cool to explore, like you said, further out down the road.
No, absolutely. And I think it'd be good. I know some people I see in the comments are saying, but Darkseid feels like where their end game is. The only reason I push back on that, and not because I don't love Darkseid, and they're obviously different, but there's a lot of similarities where Thanos and Darkseid are compared. There's a lot of what they do, the people they keep around them, and how they're going about things that are very similar. I could see wanting to shy away from that now and look to Darkseid later, so it doesn't look like you almost did a 1-for-1 of, oh yeah, the first major threat they dealt with was the pseudo god dude that's just out here like, I want to kill everything. You know what I mean? Just to give it a slightly different direction. But hey, that's just my thoughts. We're curious about your thoughts. Are you excited about the idea of Aaron Pierre joining in on this new Superman movie? What do you think about the idea of what the final element of this initial saga of the DCU might potentially be? Are we maybe moving towards a Blackest Night, or do you genuinely think it'll be a Darkseid? Let us know what you think in the comments, man. Get in the mix. Let us know.